inspiring optimism Michael J. Fox shows in his fight against Parkinson's disease is a lesson for all of us these days. And now he's opening up about how another health scare put his hopeful outlook to the test. In his latest book, No Time Like the Future, an optimist considers mortality. Please welcome the fabulous and wonderful Michael J. Fox. Good morning, Michael. Nice
Good morning,
to have
Whoopi.
you here.
My pleasure. I'm thrilled to be here, there, wherever, virtual space.
And, I mean, now that we can do all this virtually, we can visit more often. I mean,
Yeah.
So I have to ask you about this thing because you have a cameo in the video Holiday. Lil Nas X is playing a time-traveling Santa Claus. Wait, let's take a look at the clip.
Hey, it's a holiday. I got and it out of control, yeah.
Whatever you do, Nas, don't go to 2020. What? It's strange to you?
It's so great. I don't even want to know why you wanted to do this. I'm just so glad you did. But what was it that made you say, yeah, I got to do this?
I told my kids, when I say my kids, they're all young adults, but I said, I got a call from some people that represent Lil Nas X, and they went, "Oh, you gotta do it, you gotta do it, you gotta do it." And I said, "Okay, great." And then they were just wonderful people. We had a great time, and they had a great idea. And I haven't met Nas yet, but I hope to one day. And it was really fun. It's really great. My kids are really impressed.
Well, now
yes,
you're
me too.
officially cool.
I'm officially cool.
It's been 31 years since Family Ties went off the air, and the cast recently got together for a virtual reunion. Now, we all remember you as Alex P. Keaton, the teenage Republican in an otherwise Democratic family. Do you think a show like this could exist in today's political climate? And what would Alex P. Keaton think of Trump?
Yeah, I don't think he'd think much of Trump. I think he would have liked Bush. I think he would have liked. I think he would have liked Romney. I think he would have liked a lot of these guys. But I don't think he. I don't think he would have dug Trump.
Michael, you and Whoopi go way back too. You even went to the Oscars together in 1986, which I did not know. What do you remember most about that night?
It was one of the best nights of my life. It was so fun. We had met like a month and a half or so earlier, a month earlier in Vegas, and we were talking about going to. She was of course nominated, and I was just part of Back to the Future, and we talked about going to the Oscars, and she said, I haven't had a date yet, and she said I haven't had a date yet either, and I said, well, let's, in the words of Bonnie Raitt, let's give them something to talk about.
That's right. And they saw us and couldn't figure out what was going on. It was a great night, though. Now, Michael, you've done 3 best-selling memoirs already, and you're known for your very positive outlook. But you say this new book, No Time Like the Future, is a cranky book. It's a
little cranky.
What do you mean?
Well, what happened was I'd had Parkinson's for like 30 years or so at this point, and I've kind of made peace with it. It is what it is. It takes up the space it takes up, and then I have all this other space left over to live my life and to thrive and to enjoy the people that I love, and so it always worked out. And then I get this tumor on my spine, and it told me that it was going to paralyze me within a short period of time, and so I wanted to get it taken out. So, long story short, I had the surgery. I had to learn to walk again. And then about 4 months after the surgery, I was walking. I was alone in my apartment. I was going to do a cameo that day on a Spike Lee film for Netflix. Stephen Bristol was directing, and I went into my kitchen, and I was all cocky, and I felt all great about it. And I slipped on the floor, and I shattered my arm. I was waiting for the ambulance to come, I was just thinking, who am I to tell people to be optimistic? Who am I to tell people to chin up? Because I'm miserable right now. I'm not optimistic. I'm out of the lemonade business. I'm not buying this. And so who was I to tell people with Parkinson's that it'll be okay, you know? And I just started questioning all this optimism stuff, and I'd been sincere, but now it sounded glib. And as I commiserated with myself under the phone on the kitchen floor, I just reached. I had all these questions, so I went searching to get my optimism back.
Well, you write in the book about your fear of letting down your wife of 32 years, Tracy Pollan, your 4 adult kids, and even the Parkinson's community, that maybe you oversold your trademark optimism all these years. How were you able to find your way out of that dark place? And what message do you have for those who may be struggling? Because I tend to think the message that there are still dark days and low points is the most realistic message.
Well, and somebody you can be realistic and optimistic at the same time, and that is it's about accepting and surrendering, and accept what it is. Accept it because you have no choice but to accept it. It is what it is. If you have a diagnosis, if you have a loss, if you have a struggle, it is what it is. And so now let's accept it. Let's look at it, and now let's see how much weight it really takes up, how much space it takes up, how much energy it requires, and then when you accept it, you start to see the other things in your life that you're grateful for, because you're not grateful for that thing that's a problem, but you're surrounded by things you are grateful for, and gratitude will feed your optimism.
Love that. And you know what I also love? I heard at the age of 57, you got your first tattoo of a sea turtle. Now, I like this idea of a sea turtle. I love it.
I went for a swim, my last swim of the year, and the sea turtle came out, and he was all beat up. He had a chunk taken out of his fin. He had a scar in his beak, and he looked at me, and then he just went, "Screw it, it's fine." And he let me swim with him, and we swam around. I followed him through the weeds and through the reef, and then he was so tough and so resilient and so like doing the next right thing. He was just doing the next right turtle thing to do. And so then when I went through this tribulation the last couple of years with the back and the arm and the walking and the falling, and I just thought I get that sea turtle back because he's a visual reminder of resiliency. But I can't get any more. My wife will leave me.
Michael, it's good to see you. I think of you often. I just think you're just a good man, and you always have been, and I adore you. And I have to tell people that your new book, No Time Like the Future, is out today. You can get it on Audible. You can get it anywhere, Amazon, anywhere books are sold, you can get it. And a big hug to you and the family.